years, and there I'm part of the collection team. And that's it, guys. What about you, Mr. Ricardo? Tell me everything, man.
Okay, well, uh, I live at São Vicente, is uh, near from Santos, the Bruno city. I'm married. I have a child, a daughter. She is 12 years old. I work at a telecommunications company, and well, I love movies. Spend time with my friend and family. Well, that's it. That's all. How about you, Jefferson?
Good morning, guys. I'm the handsome man of TNT because maybe I'm the older one. I live in Goiânia, Goiás. Now it's so cool because rained a lot. I love. The climate is so good now. It's cool. It's dope. I'm economist, professor of Catholic University of Goiás, and it's a pleasure to be here with good guys like Bruno, Ricardo, and maybe our support, Bruna, that I saw a picture from Bruna yesterday. It's a nice picture with the big boss, Felipe Soares.
Nice. Thanks for sharing, Mr. Jefferson. So, guys, let's begin the conversation here. I want to know from you guys, do you have kids or do you have plans to have one? Mr. Jefferson, please.
Yes, I have three kids here behind me, three dogs. Just little dogs. In my age, it's impossible to have kids yet. But I have two daughters that live abroad. And I have no plan anymore, because I believe we must marriage just one time. I follow the protocol of Catholic, and I just married one time, and I have no hopes to have more kids and no other wife. I'm satisfied with my wife now.
Really nice, Mr. Jefferson. Really nice words, and I share the same opinion. In my case, I believe on that as well. I believe that marriage for me is just once in a life. And I have plans to have one more kid. I have a daughter. She will complete 9 years old this month. And I have plans to have just one more kid. But me and my wife, we are postponed a little bit because of all the the things that we need to do and to have in order to have other kids. I mean, health insurance and stability. Not that we don't have it right now, but I don't know. I think that we never will be prepared to become a father again.
Yeah.
I think if we wait for so long, it can be a little bit complicated because the age is coming and you are becoming older. But I believe that, of course, if you have plans, in a certain time to have kids, okay, that's nice. But I don't know. I think that it will happen, uh, in some moment, uh, sooner, I think. But right now, I'm just waiting. Let's see. Let's see. And what about you, Ricardo?
Well, currently I have a daughter, as I told you, and I don't know. I think is on the past. I wonder that it's possible to have one traditional way and adopt to uh, once, but nowadays is it's difficult sometimes because I'm 48 years old. My wife is 43 years old, and it's possible to nowadays. It's good. Use an example, Claudia Raia. She is 5 years old, I think. But I don't have plans anymore. I think I'm happy for my kid. I think is possible to be a father and learn a lot of things just with one child, I think.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about Bruna?
Bruna said that she just gonna listen today, you know. She
Okay,
has,
just kidding.
yeah. So let me see here, guys. And do you believe that childhood is one of the most important funny part of our lifetime? In my opinion, yes, because you don't have any responsible, you know, your only responsible is to have good grades at school and have fun, you know. And study, of course, you need to study when you are a child, you know. But in general, I don't think that child has so much problem, you know. Maybe some of them has, but not in general, you know. At least it child don't need to have problem, you know. Do not must to be, yeah, you know. And yes, I think most of our memories, good memories, you know, I think comes from childhood, you know, because childhood is you are innocent, you are, you know, I don't know, it's a different thing, you know, when you are a child, because you see the things differently, you know, if you compare with when you are adult, you know. It's childs used to see things in a good way, you know, different from people that are adults. That's it. What about you, Mr. Jefferson? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I follow my leader, Bruno. Yes, really, childhood. It's a fun part of our life because you don't take care about nothing. Just to play, and a lot of things you do, and you didn't draw attention to a lot of things when you become adolescent and adult. So it's very different. So it's part of life. Everything is very funny. I used to see here by my neighbors a lot of kids just funny, laughing all the time with everything that one or other person used to say or used to do most of the time. Everything is so funny. It's so funny. So it's a part of life that you have personality formation. And I love when I see kids running, walking, playing. It's better than see the kids with cell phone all the time, WhatsApp. I really.
I totally agree with you, Mr. Jefferson. I love to see kids being kids, you know. That's the definition for me, you know. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Mr. Jefferson. And what about you, Mr. Ricardo? What do you think, man?
Yeah, it's one of the best parts of our lives, in my opinion. I love this some aspects from childhood, particular when you until around 7 years old, the boys and the girls playing together is so much common, and after that is uh, there are groups, boys separated from girls, and the fight takes just one day, even less. I think I love these aspects, and sometimes it's possible to have fun. I don't know, just with a box. You look at this piece of paper, or don't know, a hawk, and you was a adult, you look a rock, or you look a piece of paper, and when you are a child, this rock became, I don't know, a monster or something, some fun thing, and that's wonderful. Huh? And when you became an adult, some things became sad, but it's possible to have fun during our life. But I think when we was a child, is easier sometimes. Not just respect the childhood is not correlated to responsibility. Is an important aspect, but I think there is another thing. The child look at the things the different way. That's it.
Yeah, really good words. I totally agree with you about the imagination,
Yeah.
children imagination, you know, because they see, they look at something and they imagine a lot of possibilities, you know, to create something, to do something.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I don't think that it's so usual, because kids usually be using cell
Yeah.
phones and so on, you know, and somehow it can interrupt in this process, you know, of
Yeah.
create something. Yeah.
The- I found an aspect because it's so much common, the creativity follow the during the childhood, and the when you are 20 years old. It's most difficult when you became elder. The creativity don't follow in the most part of the cases. That's strange,
Yeah.
because normally the elderly is more wiser, but it's not.
Wiser. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
creativity is different, I think.
Yeah. I think that I believe that it can change a little bit, you know, depends of the type of
Yeah, there
person.
are
Yeah.
some creative elderly people, but it's much common when you was younger. That's
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you, man. And in your opinion, what we can do to children enjoy and have a good childhood? What do you think, Ricardo, about it?
uh, one of the aspects that Jefferson told. Uh, I don't know if you worse than the past. I think it's different. Uh, Sometimes I look the children nowadays, and it's different. Use a lot of technical things like cell phones or video games and the others thing. I think that's maybe is not possible to work your brain and create a place or something. When I was a child, it's much common. I use, as I told you, a rock or a box or something. And nowadays it's different, because part of the imagination or the creation is stay here, because you look at the video game and all things is on the screen or even on cell phone. And I think is the adults is different too. Sometimes I think is have more patience, or even it's not exactly patient, but oh, I'm hungry. I don't support anymore. Please, child, go out, and the kids play on the outside. But nowadays is there are more violence. There is more violence on our country. It's not possible to let the kids play on the outside sometimes, né? And when the kids are playing on your side, and you have more responsibilities, you have to work, or you have to do some things. In this case, the adults give a cell phone or a television to entertain the kids, and let the adults more calm and tranquil to do some things, né? I think it's possible to one of the aspects, né, in the difference from the nowadays and the past. That's all.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Mr. Ricardo.
No
And what
problem.
about you, Mr. Jefferson? What do you think that we can do to children have a good childhood?
I think the first thing is to create a safe home environment. I think family is the most important thing in life today.
Yeah.
I feel very, very comfortable, very nice when I see fathers and mothers with kids going to church, to shopping center together. I think this is very important, a safe home. The second one, I think it's to encourage a sense of belonging today, because we are losing this. You must to belong to your family, to belong to your country, to belong to your friends. It's very important to respect the other guys. And I think we as an adult, you must to encourage the kids about good roles models. And again, family, that's very important. And the other, I think it's very important, as we said here, it's to make time to play, to play soccer, to play picnic, to play a lot of things, and not spend most of the time with cell phone, because I think it's not good for to have the best childhood. I think that's it.
Very good words, Mr. Jefferson. I agree with you both guys. My opinion, I believe that the beginning is our basis, and the bases are the family, our family, So if you want to raise your kid in a good way, I think you need to have family. I mean, and family not means just your parents, can be your uncle, your grandmother, grandfather,
The neighbors too, né?
Sometimes, yeah, depending of the situation, because nowadays it's unfortunately we can't trust in all people, as we usually do in the past. I think that you said something related with it, Ricardo, and I totally agree with you about that, But as Mr. Jefferson said, we need to have we have to need a good environment at home, to be an example for the kids to see, and when they become adults, they're gonna follow the same path. It's really hard to see a child that see a good example and follow a bad one. It's hard. It's not impossible, but it's hard to happen. To see something like that. And basically that's it. And I totally agree with you that family is one of the most important thing in life. It's our base, in my opinion, for sure. And what do you think, you guys, about it? About children nowadays. Is there any difference between children from the past and now? And what are the difference for you guys? Mr. Jefferson, can you go ahead, please?
Just a moment, Skip, because I'm drinking coffee.
Yeah, sorry for interrupt
Yeah.
your coffee, man.
So nice, the coffee, so good. Tastes good.
No worries.
Ricardo, go ahead. Help
Go
me,
ahead,
please.
Ricardo.
No problem. I think is that I answered this question in the other and the last question. But I think is not, on my opinion, when I was a child, it's not better than nowadays. I think it's different. It's the reality, the things, the scenario became nowadays is have more violence, I think. Or for example, I live at I don't know, 4 minutes walking to my child's school, and he got in the school at 7 o'clock. I'm not so. I don't feel confident to let my child go to the school alone. So when I was a child, I walking during almost 30 minutes until my school in that time. And well, there are other situations, and nowadays, so because these aspects, I think is not possible spend time when I was a child, because I spent a lot of time outside, far away from my mother. And it's sometimes I went out to the around 8 o'clock in the morning and come back after, I don't know, 2 o'clock p.m. or maybe later. And I went to my house, had lunch, and go out again, and well, come back to the house 9 o'clock p.m. maybe later. It's different nowadays. It's not possible, or depends on the place, but the most part of Brazil is difficult because of this aspect. And I think I don't know, I have to accept the situation. It's possible to complain, or it's possible to argue, ask for our governance change the situation. But I think it's the most part of the fathers is not so, it's don't feel confident for let the kids play as when I was a child. I think is the big difference is that's it. So it's possible to make some things similar, but it's not possible to do the same things on the past. So in this case, is necessary, or is possible to use video games and cell phones and other things. I think it's necessary to control the time, because if you let the kids do what you do, so sometimes it's spent all time using cell phones and the video games and even television. So that's it.
Really great point. I totally agree with you about if you compare the past with nowadays. In the past, I believe that in the past, people in that time we didn't have so much violence and crime, and people usually hang out, and go to walk on the streets, and even children, and as you said, children used to be on the streets for so long, all day long, and nothing happens. But nowadays we can do it because the crime and violence increase a lot. And as a parent, I don't trust people, nowadays. I mean, I can't let my daughter go to walk, or you know to 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 play, for example, down uh, down, because I live in an apartment, right? So I can't trust my daughter outside, playing, and without my supervision, so I prefer to let her stay at home. And if she wants to go outside, I would like to go with her, to be watching her, because I don't trust people nowadays because of this that we are seeing on and watching in television. I don't feel comfortable with this, and uh, I don't know. I have my opinion, and I respect other opinions as well. I can see that nowadays, even with this these things that we are seeing, in the world nowadays, not just in Brazil, in all parts of the world, people you use it to behave like that that as we lived in the past, and as we are saying right now about the difference between the violence and crime, you can see in the television that there's a lot of situations that relate with kids. And in the same way, the parents, other parents, they leave their kids play, play without supervision, and I don't believe that, because I can understand this kind of thing, but it's just my opinion, because in my case, I am a kind of boring father. I like to be watching her, and make sure that she's having a good time with her friends.
You are
Yeah,
big brother.
it's a kind of, yeah. I hate to leave her alone. It's crazy. I can understand the others that think different, but I respect the opinion. I can't say anything, but in my case, I prefer to be watching over her. That's it. And what about you, Mr. Jefferson? What do you think about it?
I'm not a big brother with my kids or my three dogs. I must to draw attention to my my three dogs and my two birds. I'm just kidding, but it's a very good questions. I used to talk as a professor. I love to talk with children. I used to talk all the time with children, adults, adolescents. I love to talk, to think what they think about the life, about a lot of things. And I think it's sometimes very interesting. I can judge the children now because sometimes I used to find children very interesting that use, for example, to play chess, to have good ideas about the life, the sentiment of belongs, uh, and love to play soccer as I love to play soccer, and sometimes guys that love to play volleyball, something like this, and other kinds of sports. So if he's different, I think it's not different. It's the same. There is no difference. The only difference now is the children can use cell phone. It's very different from the past. But in the past, I remember we had a lot of plays or games that I used to online with a lot of stuff, gadgets, something that used to play a lot, even in my age. So for me, there is no difference between now and the past. And about safe, I think you must to worry about the society, because unfortunately we live in a city that it's almost too impossible for most of the kids to play in the city streets as used to play in the past.
Yeah.
And taking this moment, you know, and that you have said about technology, you know, how do you guys think that technology can impact in children lives, you know? I mean, because nowadays you can see that children are they are smarter than we were in the past, compared, you know, using technology and this kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
I always, you know, amazed with my daughter, because she can manipulate the cell phone in a way
Yeah.
that I never imagined, you know, that I would
Yeah.
be, you know. And she she's amazing using this kind of thing, you know. But in the same way, I'm worried about let her spend so much time in the cell phone. I don't like it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a situation that it's hard to manage, you know, because we have YouTube that's is a good source for kids sometimes, but sometimes you can see something that you not like to let your children watching, you know, this kind of video. And we have social medias that, if you like it or not, maybe sometimes children can have a sex on it, you know, about it. So it's a little bit complicated to manage all the things that we have,
Uh-huh.
and supervising your kids to not be in touch with some sources, you know.
Yeah.
And in your opinion, guys, how it can impact the people, the children's lives?
Yeah. that's a wonderful place to find the best and the worst of our world. Huh?
Yeah.
I on this week during a class, the TNT classes, I was talking regarding the situation when there was a student, or not a student, but when it was studying at a school. Sometimes you have paperwork I have to do, and I have to go to the library on my city. Sometimes it's not possible. I have to go to the library in another city because I I I can't find this topic on the at the library on my city. So I have to go to the library on the other city. It's possible to copy on the paper. It's necessary wrote the notes, and I have to go to my house, and I necessary you wrote again, because on the was writing in the library is not possible to make a good job. And sometimes I pass 1 or 2 days to do just one paperwork. Huh? And nowadays, sometimes it's possible to copy and paste, and well, you finish a paperwork in 10 minutes, sometimes. And I think is the tech things nowadays, you take take our take the population in direction a place and I think is on the future probably a lot of things you do by robots and the ER and the other things, and probably the behavior, the human skills like speech or I don't know, that's things like human aspects is more useful on the future. A lot of things you do to the robots and other things. So in this case, it's necessary to improve the human abilities. So I think is some schools that are theater classes or speech classes, because probably in the future these aspects will be very important. And that's it.
Thanks for sharing, Ricardo. Really good words, man. And what about you, Mr. Jefferson? What do you think about it?
I think you never must be a big brother. I was just kidding. It's impossible to
Yeah.
control the kids all the time.
Mhm.
But I remember in the past when I used to took or pick up the children from school. I used to have a very dialogue with my kids to talk. What about the class? What kind of thing do you like? What things you dislike? I think the dialogue with the kids is the best way now, because you can control the cell phone. It's impossible. It's impossible. But you must dialogue every day with the kids. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? You must have a strategy to discover what the kids are think about the life, what they are watching, something like this. And I remember now it's a very good discussion in China, very good discussion about the time that the kids used to play games. Now in China, the government imposed a law that the kids must spend only 3 hours by week, and they can control them. It's very different from Brazil, for example, but they can control, because they was very worried about the kids that was spend a lot of time just playing games and not studying. I think it's a kind of control, but it's very interesting. It's a very discussion about this. And I think you can say the same thing for your kids, especially men that love to play games all the time. I see a guy here at TNT, a young guy with 18 years, 70 years old. I think he's not participating anymore. But I asked for him, what do you do after this class? I play games all the time, all the night. And I asked him, do you like to love to play soccer, to run? No, I hate gym. I hate everything. My life is just to play games. Come on, guy. Where are the fathers,
That
or the mothers of these guys?
that's
It's
strange.
a complicated situation, yeah, because as we are saying here, about technology and real life, I believe that technology comes to help us, but in the same time, as all the things, we have both sides, a good one and a bad one.
Yeah.
And if you left your kid without supervision, or maybe if you don't give the right speech, the right orientation, I think that this is the right word, and I believe that kids will do whatever they want, as Mr. Jefferson said about conversation. We need
Yeah.
to have conversation with our kids, ask about how was the day school, you know? What about your friends? Who are you talking about, you know, with? Who are you talking with, you know? And it's really important, not just to know about how was
Yeah.
the day of the kid, but to to show the kid that you care about them, you know? That's the point. Because if you don't ask anything about the kid's day, what kind of parents are you, you know? That's the thing. And I believe that when the kids grow up, they will remind that what the parents did with them, you know, because somehow it will be on their minds, you know,
Yeah.
it will be in their mind, and they will remember about it with a good feeling, you know. I believe if you, of course, treat them well and
Mhm.
provide all the things that the children need, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yesterday I was on the supermarket and I look a boy. Probably you are 9 or 10 years old, and it made shopping on the supermarkets, uh, uh, on a cell phone on the hand, and it sounds so strange for me, but when I was a child, it's so much common. Huh? The kids go to the market, buy some things, but I have never. Uh, a long time ago, I I can't look at this situation. A kid buying things, no? But that's the situation. No? That's is
Yeah,
different. No?
everything is changing. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. Yeah, I agree. So thanks for sharing, Ricardo and Mr. Jefferson,
Yeah, my
about your
friend.
opinion. And guys, welcome back to the main room. How was the conversation for you guys? I want to know from Ayla. How was the conversation, Ayla, for you?
It's very good. It's I I could memorize my childhood, and it was so good. And we talked about the difference in the past, nowadays about childhood, and I think a good point it was about the Charles uh, was comment uh, about the children nowadays. It seems is smarter than ours in the past because they learn so fast. Oh my gosh! And but on the other hand, same is for me, children are unfortunately so far from other children. I think it's physically, and it's no good. What about the emotionally? About the develop emotionally for them, you know.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's important to have a balance about this because if you know it could be a little bit problem in the future. So
really great words, Ayla. I totally with you. And we were saying the same thing about the difference between children nowadays and children in the past. You know, there are a lot of difference, and of course, most of them is because of the technology that we have nowadays. Thanks for sharing, Ayla. And what about you, Mr. Charles? I will ask you both, Mr. Charles and Mr. Gabriel, about your childhood. If you can describe your childhood with just one word, what would be the word? Mr. Charles first.
Work hard.
Work. Okay. Work hard since a
Yeah,
child.
man. Yeah, man.
That's the man. That's the man. And thanks for sharing, man. And what about you, Gabriel?
Soccer.
Soccer, a great one. Really great, man. So, guys, thanks for sharing, Gabriel. I shared some links with you. The first one is about our survey. So please go there, give your rate, rate us there, and let us know about your opinion about the topic, about the meetings. If you want to give us some subject to discuss in the future, I would like to know, and it will be a pleasure for me to bring it up. And the second one is about our YouTube channel. If you want to see the meeting, if you want to watch the meeting again, so please go there, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up, right? And the last one is about our site. If you want to learn something new or take a look of other languages to see, and to be part of the meetings, just go there, and we're gonna be happy to receive you in other meetings, And I want to invite you all to be here in the next Saturday with me. Please don't let me alone, It's a pleasure to have you all here. And I usually see all your faces every Saturday. So for me, it's like a huge family, We are a huge family. It's a real pleasure for me to have you all.
These days, I was watching our childhood here in TNT. Maybe you can check the video from July 6th, the last year. I think
Really?
a meeting we both in this meeting.
Oh my God, I will check it out, man. I will check it out. Yeah, it's really good too.
July 6th.
Really nice to watch the videos again. I always try to do it.
I have a story with you too, Jefferson. I don't remember that data, but I will check. All right.
So guys, that's it. The time is running out. It was a pleasure to be here with you. Enjoy your day. Have a good Saturday, good week, and see you in the next Saturday. Bye bye, my friend.